Man, good morning. So I felt the need to go on a run this morning. And as I was doing my run, I'll try to make this quick, I'm out of breath. As I was going on my run, I was listening to this sermon, and as my mind normally does, it wanders. And I started thinking and realizing, I was thinking about sin and how we fall short as a people. And hopefully I can express this in a way that somebody understands it, right? But there's this verse in Ephesians where it talks about putting on the whole armor of God, right? Breastplate, helmet, the shoes, the belt, and the sword, right? And at face level, you think, all right, cool, I got on the armor of God, I'm praying, living, seeking the kingdom, I'm protected. What I think a lot of us make the mistake of is we take that protection as permission to go places we don't need to go. Permission to see things that we don't need to see. And hear things that we shouldn't be hearing, right? When I was thinking of that, I was thinking all the times that I fell for that same track without even praying. Before I knew anything of Ephesians or the armor of God, anything like that, right? When I was living in my flesh. And I thought, man, I could see how someone would think, okay, I got on this sword, this helmet, this belt, these shoes, and it's from God, I'm good. I can do all things, right? That's not even what that verse means. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. But back on topic. Just because we have on that armor, just because we're protected and we have our weapon as the word as the weapon, that doesn't mean we're free from temptation. That doesn't mean we have the freedom to do as we please. Because even with the protection, even with the armor, we still have a choice to stay within the guidelines and the protective barriers that God has placed for our own good, for our spiritual health, for our mental health, emotional health, financial, all of those things. The flesh is something that cares about itself. Your flesh is actually separated from you. It's selfish of you. It cares nothing about the consequences of your action. If anything, whatever you do that's good for you, your flesh is going to fight it. Your flesh doesn't want to think of delayed gratification. Your flesh wants it right now, whether that be food, whether that be a man or a woman, whether that be an opportunity to maybe cheat somebody or short somebody, whatever the case, in business, personal, anything, right? So your flesh wants to take over. So my prayer for everybody out here, anybody that's listening this far, and anybody who didn't even listen this far, right? This prayer goes for y'all too. I just pray that as you put on that armor of God, as I walk past this guy mowing his yard, minding his business, I'm gonna probably have to talk louder. But as you put on that armor of God, that helmet of salvation, the breastplate, the sword, all of that, as you don these items first thing in the morning, that when you have that temptation, when you're faced with temptation, because temptation is gonna come, right? The enemy only comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So if he's not coming for you, there's nothing for him to destroy. So if you're living in an attempt to seek the kingdom, if you're trying to live righteously, the enemy doesn't want that. Your flesh doesn't want that. So you will be tempted. I just pray that if you start to fall into those temptations, if your mind starts to wander, you feel the weight of that armor. That armor, I don't believe, is just a light jacket. I believe it's heavy. I believe the helmet weighs on our head. I believe that sword is heavy. So that way, as we move through our days, we can feel what's protecting us. We can feel our shield and our weapons against these temptations. And that as we moved, whatever direction you decide to go today, if you feel that temptation, you feel the weight of that helmet on your head. And it reminds you of the bigger picture. It reminds you that you're set apart from your flesh. It reminds you that your spirit is greater than that temptation, that your relationship with God, with our Father, with with Christ is greater than any earthly or worldly temptation. I just pray that as you maybe feel in your heart connections that maybe soul ties, demonic connections, whether somebody's doing some type of spiritual work, right? I've seen enough to know that that stuff is real. I pray that that breastplate, that you feel that you feel it on your shoulders, that you feel that covering over your heart, and that all of these things, as you walk, you feel the weight of the shoes that protect your feet, that protect your steps, the steps that are actually ordered by God, that you feel the heaviness of that, and it can remind you and it can bring you back to your senses. It can bring you back to the place that you started at the beginning when you were first born, at the beginning of your day when you set out with good intentions and it turns into good actions, and that you use the sword, that you go to the word and you remind yourself of the things that you're blessed with and of the promises and the curses that come with not following through with these promises. Hopefully I wasn't rambling on too much and that made sense to somebody, because it made sense today to me. So God bless everybody. Y'all have a wonderful day.